All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, like always, I would like to say call halayim like Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakak Wadash. I would like to give double honor to the apostles of Great Millstone, the men that I learned the truth from. And I would like to say shalom, wa barakim, labakayim, shah yasha'Allah, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that's been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth and sincerely waiting and enduring until the return of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach to deliver us out of this last captivity. I'm going to title this video, Love Thy Neighbor. And basically, man, this is basically addressing the whole another Christian fable, another Christian lie, that the Most High Power, the one that the world calls God, his Hebrew name being Yahweh, told everybody to love everybody. Like you supposed to just walk around loving everybody, and you're not supposed to hate anyone. You're supposed to have goodness in your heart. That's how these Christians carry out their lives, man. That's why the Negroes in America, the Hispanics in America, you Native Americans are so docile, because when you get shot down in the streets or you've been mistreated, you go back to your plantation Christianity. Oh, we got to love everybody. We can't rise up and, fight back because God says we got to love everybody. That goes back to the plantation when you were serving hardcore slavery for this devil, the so-called white man, his biblical nationality being an Edomite, coming from the seed of Esau. When he was whooping your back, he made sure that on Sunday you had service, and he taught you to make sure you love your master and love, and love everybody, and don't fight back. And you take that same spirit and apply it to your lives today. And that's why, Jake, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're so docile because the enemy, your oppressor, has taught you the scriptures. But now the prophets are out trying to teach you the scriptures, and you don't want to hear it. You want to be stuck in that same old plantation doctrine. When the scriptures speak about loving thy neighbor, it's talking about somebody of your own nation. And as you look on the screen, Lord willing, I'm going to put it up as a thumbnail. You're going to see the definition of neighbor in the New Testament. And I'm going to get the first scripture of where that came from. This is Romans, the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 10. Love worketh no ill to his neighbor. Therefore love is the fulfilling of the law. So it says, love worketh no ill to his neighbor. And love is the fulfilling of the law. So a Christian will read it and say, see, love is fulfilling the law. Okay? Loving your neighbor is fulfilling the law. We can eat pork, we can eat shrimp, we can do all this, but as long as you love your neighbor, you're fulfilling the law. Well, hold up. That definition clearly says, when you look up that word neighbor in the Greek, in the New Testament, it says plesion, man. And as you can see on the screen, it says someone of the Hebrew nation, being an Israelite, Why is that? Because it says it's the fulfilling of the law. Well, first and foremost, who was the law given to? It was given to the Hebrew Israelites. You can't, it's 18 nations in the Bible total. The heathen nations, the 17 heathen nations, they cannot fulfill the law right now, because it was never given to them. They're going to learn the laws in the kingdom of heaven when the Hebrew Israelites are established as the top nation on the planet Earth, and they're going to execute judgment on these other nations and teach them the law through rigorous labor, and hard chastisement, man. But they were going back in the ancient times into this present day. Every nation wasn't supposed to fulfill the law because they weren't given the law. Only the Hebrew Israelites were given the law. So when it says loving thy neighbor is the fulfilling of the law, well, that's clearly talking to the Hebrew Israelites, man. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 19. It says, he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. So only Israel knew the statutes and the judgments of the Most High. Why? Because it goes back to when Moses came off of Mount Sinai and gave them the commandments. You didn't see the nation of Elam there, the nation of Ham there, the nation of Moab, the nation of Ammon. You know, the nation of Edom. You didn't see any other nation except for the Hebrew Israelites, man. Because the law was given to them. So they knew the law of loving thy neighbor. They knew how to fulfill that law. Because it was for them, their kindred. You know, like Paul said in Romans, his kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption. You know, matter of fact, I might as well just get that, you know. This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, and I'm going to start at verse 3. This is Paul speaking. For I could wish that myself were cursed from Yahushua HaMashiach for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law. So the giving of the law was given to the Hebrew Israelites, okay? And it says, and the service of the Most High and the promises of the kingdom of heaven and rulership was given to the Hebrew Israelites. That was the whole covenant. That's why Paul is reiterating this in the New Testament. Because Hebrews, I believe it's chapter 8, you know. Let me check real quick. Because people will say, well, that was the Old Testament. You know, yeah, Hebrews chapter 8 tells you that the New Testament is for the Hebrew Israelites too. Okay? So the giving of the law was for the Hebrew Israelites. So only they could fulfill the law. You know, only they were expected, to better word it, only the Hebrew Israelites were expected to fulfill the law in the Most High's eyes. That's why they were punished. That's why we were punished as a nation and sent into captivity under the so-called white man and all these other nations till this day for breaking the covenant, for breaking the laws and not upholding our side of the agreement, going back during the time of Moses. Now I'm going to go to the book of Leviticus where it gives the laws that Israel was supposed to follow, and I'm gonna start at verse 44. And yet for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, which we are today in America, you know, in the land of our oppressors, in the land of our enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them to destroy them utterly. Okay? To destroy them utterly and to break my covenant with them. For I am the Lord their power. So the Lord will never break his covenant with the children of Israel. That's why Hebrews 8 talks about the new covenant where they're being brought back through the blood of Yahushua, who the world calls Jesus Christ. Verse 45. But I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their power. I am the Lord. These are the statutes and the judgments and the laws which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel. Did it say him and the whole world? No. I'm going to read that again. Which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel and Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. Period. You can't equate no other nation into that. You can't say, well, we can break the law, because what is sin? Sin is transgression of the law. Let me get that real quick, you know. I'm going to go to the book of 1 John. The book of 1 John chapter 3. Verse 4, and it says, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. So really only the Hebrew Israelites can sin according to the law, because they were only given the laws, man. You other nations were sown in iniquity, and you just abide in iniquity. The Lord never cleansed you. The Lord never brought you in as his own nation. He doesn't care about you, and the scriptures talk about that all throughout the scriptures, okay? So now that we know when it says love thy neighbor, and loving thy neighbor is the fulfilling of the law, and it's talking about Hebrew Israelites loving Hebrew Israelites, okay? When you go to Matthew chapter 22, when Yahushua said, this is Matthew chapter 22, and verse 36, it says, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Okay? And Yahushua said in verse 37, Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. So people will say, well, the only thing that matters is this two. Well, you're right. You're right. Yahushua is perfect. He wasn't wrong in saying that. We agree with you on that, but you got to have the understanding of what he was saying right there. Because if you love your neighbor, you're not going to break the law. Okay, you're not going to commit adultery on him. You're not going to steal from him. You're not going to murder him like Cain did Abel. You're not going to break the law if you love your neighbor. And you're not going to break the law if you love your God, Yahweh, your power. Because you will have no other gods before him. So you will fulfill the law. Okay. But who was it given to? The Hebrew Israelites, man. You know? And that's straight to the point. You know? You can't get around that, man. You can't get around that. You know, so I wanted to make that simple and straight to the point. You know what I'm saying? You see the definition of neighbor in the New Testament, what it means, you know, and you Christians can't get around that, man. You know, with that, man, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah. Lord willing, the elect was edified. Until next time, I say shalom.